Okay, in the today's lecture, we are going to prove this lemma. See statement of lemma. What is given? You have written if V1, V2, Vn is a basis of any vector space V over F, and if some more elements are there from same vector space which are linearly independent over field F, then we have to relate in this lemma number of linearly independent elements and number of basis elements in the basis of vector space. That is, we want to prove here m is less equal m is less equal n. Number of linearly independent elements in any vector space is always less equal the number of basis elements in its basis. Okay, so this is the lemma that we want to prove now in today's lecture. And consequence of this lemma, later on we want to list in corollary for finite dimensional vector space. Our aim is to prove for any finite dimensional vector space, any two bases contains the same number of elements. So after proving this lemma, we have to prove this statement for finite dimensional vector spaces, that any two bases have the same number of elements in it. Okay, so start to write proof of this lemma. Okay, so in the proof, so we start with given things, to write given things first. So let us write, let capital V be a vector space over a field F. Let capital V be a vector space over any field. Okay. And also we have given here one basis and some linearly independent elements there. So write it, let V1, small v1, v2 up to vn be a basis of capital V, and W1 or W1 be the linearly independent elements, be the linearly independent elements, or you can say vectors in vector space, elements in capital V. Okay, these are the given things. Okay, in the basis there are n vectors, and in the set of linearly independent elements there are m elements there, and we want to relate this number of elements in linearly independent set, which is m, with the number of elements in the basis of vector space, that is nothing but the n. Okay, so these are the given things. V is vector space, v1, v2 up to vn is a basis, and w1, w2 up to wm are the linearly independent elements. Okay, what is meant by basis? What is meant by basis? Basis is nothing but the spanning set which contains in it linearly independent elements. And if you relate, or if you take the use of previous lemmas, theorems, corollaries, then you can say there that every vector in capital V or every element in vector space can be uniquely represented as linear combination of basis elements. So if you take any arbitrary element from vector space, you can write it as uniquely as a linear combination of basis elements V1, V2 up to Vn. So in this case, in this lemma, we have taken this set W1, W2 up to Wm as a set of linearly independent elements. So W1, W2 up to Wm are the elements of vector space. So if you take any element from this set of elements, then that element can be represented as a linear combination of v1 v2 up to vn. And if you are calling v1 v2 up to vn as a basis, then the elements v1 v2 up to vn are nothing but the linearly independent, and their linear span is nothing but the element of capital V, or they are spanning the vector space V. So now I am going to take use of this concept that each and every element of capital V can be written as a linear combination of these linearly independent elements, which are basis elements v1 v2 up to vn. Okay, so write in the next line, since every element in capital V is a linear combination of basis elements. What are the basis elements here? v1 v2 up to vn. Basis elements small v1 comma v2 vn. Since every element in capital V is a linear combination of basis elements, comma, okay, I am continuing this, comma, in particular, okay, if you take W suffix m, it is element of capital V, so it can be written as a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. So in particular, Wm is a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. We are saying that each element of capital V is a linear combination of basis elements. So Wm is also element of capital V. W suffix m is also element of vector space. So Wm can be written as a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. So we have said here that Wm is a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. And if Wm is written as a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn, and if you list this Wm with this V1, V2 up to Vn, then new set, whatever be the new set is there, which is nothing but the Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn, that new set is not a linearly independent, or it is not a set of linearly independent elements, because one element is written in terms of linear combination of others. We have already said for any set of vectors in vector space, either that set is linearly independent or some of them can be written as a linear combination of its preceding ones. So here we are saying Wm is a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. Just a minute. Mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Okay. Please keep in mind that W1, W2 up to Wm are also elements of capital V. So Wm is a element of capital V, and each element of capital V is a linear combination of basis elements. So I am saying here that Wm is nothing but the linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. Make clear that Wm is also element of V. Everything we are discussing here in capital V, which is vector space, and when we take use of some scalar, then they are nothing but the from field F. So everyone please make clear that each element, that is V1, V2 up to Vn, as well as W1, W2 up to Wm, all are nothing but the elements of vector space V. So Wm is a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn that we have written here. Okay. Therefore, now I am writing here, therefore the set therefore the set, I am writing set of these elements. I am writing here first Wm and then V1, V2 up to Vn. Already V1, V2 up to Vn, this is basis of capital V, and I am now putting new element in that basis, and that is nothing but the Wm, and I am saying this is set. But in this set, Wm is a linear combination of other elements. So already we have seen in some last lemmas theorems or corollaries that if in any set of vector space, if in any set of elements in vector space, if some of the element is linear combination of others, then that set is not linearly independent. That means here in this case Wm, I am saying it is linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. That means whatever set I am writing here Wm to Vn, that set is not linearly independent. That means this set is nothing but the set of linearly dependent elements. Okay, so therefore this set Wm V1, V2 up to Vn is linearly dependent. Set is linearly dependent, that means elements in it are linearly dependent. Okay, therefore the set is linearly dependent. You can write over here. Okay, this set is nothing but the linearly dependent. Let me proceed. Now I am using another concept. See, let me tell you first. V1, V2 up to Vn are the basis elements. That means they are spanning the vector space V. Spanning set which contains in it linearly independent elements is said to be the basis of capital V. So if V1, V2 up to Vn is a basis of capital V, these elements are spanning capital V. So V1, V2 up to Vn are spanning to capital V. You know meaning of spanning to capital V. That means you are taking linear combination of all possible linear combination of these elements, and that new elements are you are getting in vector space V. But all the possible linear combination if you collect in one set, then that whole set is nothing but the vector space V. That means V is spanned by this set, and these are nothing but the basis elements. Because they are basis elements, they are spanning the vector space V. So let me write in the next line. Since V1, V2, Vn spans capital V. Okay, I am writing in very short statement. Since V1, V2 up to Vn spans capital V, that means these basis elements are spanning capital V, comma, the set Wm V1, V2 up to Vn also spans capital V, because all are nothing but the elements of capital V. And we know we have one concept, if S, capital S is subset of capital T, then linear span of capital S is contained in linear span of capital T. Is it clear to everyone? If capital S is subset of capital T, then linear span of capital S is contained in linear span of capital T. And already V1, V2 up to Vn spanning the capital V. That means linear span of V1, V2 up to Vn is nothing but the capital V, and it is contained in linear span of Wm V1, V2 up to Vn. That means that new set is also spanning capital V. Each and every linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn is contained in set of all linear combination of Wm V1, V2 up to Vn. That means this new set is also spanning the capital V. Whatever element you take from capital V, that element is nothing but the linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. If you want to write same element in terms of linear combination of Wm V1, V2 up to Vn, then you have to write just coefficient of Wm as a 0. Coefficient of Wm as nothing but 0. So 0 into Wm plus alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 up to alpha n Vn. 0 into Wm is nothing but 0. 0 plus any other element of capital V is nothing but the element of capital V. But V alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 up to alpha n Vn is nothing but the element of capital V, because they are spanning the whole set V. So again, linear combination of all these new elements is nothing but the element of capital V. And each element of capital V can be written again as a linear combination of Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn. That means this new set Wm, V1, V2, Vn spanning the vector space V. Is it clear to everyone? Because V1, V2 up to Vn spanning V, if you add one more element Wm in it, then new set also spans the capital V. So now we have this set Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn as a spanning set for capital V. Already we have seen one corollary that V1, V2 up to Vn are the elements in capital V whose linear span is capital W. This is corollary 1, and in which V1, V2 up to Vk are the linearly independent elements. Then you can form some proper subset of this spanning set whose linear span is again capital V and which contains in it linearly independent elements. So because this set is spanning set of capital V, or linear span of this set is nothing but the capital V, by corollary 1 you can form or you can find out some proper subset of this set Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn whose linear span is again capital V and which contains in it linearly independent elements, and whatever new set you are getting there, that is nothing but the basis, because that new set spans capital V and which contains in it linearly independent elements. So spanning set which contains in it linearly independent element is said to be the basis of that vector space V. So with the help of that corollary 1, I am going to write now next statement there. Okay, since linear span of Wm, V1, V2, Vn, linear span of these elements is capital V, we can find a proper subset of Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn, proper subset of Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn by removing. Now see, in this lemma we are going to construct new set from this set, and in which we are forming new set by removing some V and by adding some W in it. So already W is there in this set. Don't confuse. See what I am saying. Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn is a spanning set of capital V. You can find out its proper subset, but we are now finding its proper subset by adding Wm and by removing some V. So by removing at least one V, we can find a proper subset of Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn by removing at least one V, which forms which forms a basis. Okay, subset of spanning set which contains in it linearly independent elements is basis of capital V, which forms a basis of capital V. So what is spanning set in this case? It is Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn. We are trying to find out its proper subset. That means we have to remove some element from it. So we are removing at least one V from this set, and we are keeping this Wm that we have added in the last step. So we have to find out proper subset of Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn by removing at least one V, and whatever new set we are getting, that forms their basis of capital V. So now I am trying to give new form to that proper subset of this Wm up to Vn. Thus, the set Wm, we have to keep W's as it is, and we have to remove while writing the proper subset of this Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn. We are trying to remove at least one V. So we have removed at least one V. At least one V, I am saying that means you can remove more than one V also while forming this basis. Thus the set Wm, Vi1, up to Vi k, I am saying here Vik. Thus the set Wm where this k is less equal n minus 1. Why I am saying k is less equal n minus 1? If you remove one V, then number of V's in this set are nothing but the n minus 1. But if you remove more than one V, then k may be n minus 2, maybe n minus 3, or maybe some another number. But k is less equal n minus 1 here. At most k you can take n minus 1, because if you remove one V, then number of V's are nothing but the n minus 1 in this set. And one more element is there, which is nothing but the Wn. So total number of elements are nothing but the n, at most n. They may be, this total number of elements in this new set may be n minus 1, maybe n minus 2, but maximum number of elements are nothing but the n, because we are taking k at most n minus 1. So if you take k as n minus 1 plus one Wm is there, so total number of elements in this basis, this is basis now, new basis, and it contains n elements. If k you take n minus 2, then n minus 2 plus 1 W is nothing but the n minus 1. So that new basis maybe contains n minus 1 elements in it, maybe n minus 2, maybe n minus 3 in this way. Okay. So make clear that what we have did here while doing this procedure to obtain the basis. Let me revise again, because we have did 2-3 things here, so don't confuse here. We have given V1, V2 up to Vn as a basis. Then we have given W1, W2 up to Wm as a set of linearly independent elements. We know every element of vector space can be written as a linear combination of basis elements. So every element we are saying, that means Wm is also element. It is particular element of vector space. So Wm can be written as a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. But if Wm is a linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn, then this set, let me mark here. Because Wm is linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn, this set is nothing but the set of linearly dependent elements, because in this Wm is linear combination of others. So this set is not linearly independent. That means it is linearly, this set is not linearly independent, that means it is linearly dependent. Okay. It is clear to everyone that this set is nothing but the linearly dependent. Okay. Again we are using another concept, that since V1, V2 up to Vn is a basis, that means they are spanning to capital V. And if they are spanning to capital V, if you add one more element in it, then new set also spans to capital V. I have explained how it spans to capital V again. Because if you take any arbitrary element, then it can be written as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 plus up to alpha n Vn. Just add one more term in it by taking 0 coefficient of Wm. So 0 into Wm and that previous combination is nothing but the again element of V. So that element is again written as a linear combination of Wm, V1, V2 up to Vn. That means this set is nothing but the spanning set to this capital V now. And we have by corollary 1. If it spans capital V, then some proper subset of it you can find out which contains in it linearly independent, and that set again spanning to capital V, that means this basis. And now we got that basis as Wm, V1, Vi1 up to Vik. So here after this is the basis for capital V. Thus this set, let me complete this statement. Let me complete. Thus this set Wm, Vi1, Vik, where k is less equal n minus 1 is a basis of capital V. So old basis is nothing but the V1, V2 up to Vn. Now with the help of these calculations we got their new basis, and that basis is nothing but the Wm, Vi1, Vik. We have just did one step here. We have completed one step here. So how we have obtained new basis? While obtaining this basis, we have added one Wm from the list of linearly independent elements, and we have removed at least one V from the set of basis elements. And then by doing this method, by adding one W and removing at least one V, and using this concept, we got new basis, and that basis is nothing but the Wm, Vi1 up to Vik, and condition on k is nothing but less equal n minus 1. That means this new basis contains at most n elements in it. It may contains n minus 1 element, may contains n minus 2 elements, and so on. So up to this step we have this basis. Okay. Now I am again going to do the same calculations, or I am going to apply same method to add one more W in this new basis and remove at least one V from this basis to obtain the new basis. Okay, now I am again repeating here. See, now our basis is nothing but this. We know each element of vector space is a linear combination of its basis elements. So this is basis element, and W1, W2 up to Wm minus 1 are the elements of capital V. Now I am taking second last element from the list of W's. In particular, W suffix m minus 1, which is second last element in the set of linearly independent elements, can be written as a linear combination of these new basis elements. W suffix m minus 1 can be written as a linear combination of these basis elements Wm, Vi1 up to Vik, because Wm minus 1 is a element of vector space and this is the basis for vector space. So Wm minus 1 can be written as linear combination of these elements, and if you add that Wm minus 1 in this list of basis elements, then new set you will get as a set of linearly dependent elements. Okay, so let me write again. Since W suffix m minus 1 is an element of capital V, and Wm, Vi1, Vik is a basis of capital V, comma Wm minus 1 is a linear combination of these basis elements Wm, Vi1, comma VIK, write it VIK, this is VIK. Wm minus 1 is a linear combination of these new basis elements, and so this set, which set? Now I am adding this Wm minus 1 in this list of elements. Wm Vi1 up to Vik is a set of linearly dependent elements. So as Wm Vi1 comma up to Vik is a basis of capital V, and some particular element we have taken, that is nothing but the W suffix m minus 1. W suffix m minus 1 can be written as a linear combination of these basis elements. So because W suffix m minus 1 is a linear combination of these basis elements, and if you add this Wm minus 1 in this list, then whatever new set is there, that set is nothing but the set of linearly dependent elements. And because Wm Vi1 up to Vik it is basis, they spans V. Because Wm Vi1 up to Vik are spanning capital V, and if you are adding one more element in this spanning set, then new set is again spanning set of capital V. So because Wm Vi1 Vik it is basis, it is spanning capital V. So Wm minus 1, Wm and up to Vik also spanning capital V. So let me write that again. Since Wm Vi1 up to Vik spans capital V, I am saying spans capital V because it is basis. Since this set spans capital V, comma, this set that we are writing by adding Wm minus 1 in this basis, this set Wm minus 1, Wm Vi1 comma up to Vik also spans. Already we have used this, or we have explained this concept in above part. Also spans capital V. So about spanning of this new set we have written here, Wm minus 1, Wm up to Vik also spans capital V. And now we have to use corollary 1 in above calculations. We have not written by corollary 1. So let me write here. Now we are using same concept. Now by corollary 1 of theorem or above theorem, let me write above theorem. Let me again tell you that what is corollary 1 of above theorem. What is statement of corollary 1 of above theorem? Corollary 1 tells us that if V1, V2 up to Vn is a set of elements in any vector space V whose linear span is capital W, then you can find out its proper subset which contains in it linearly independent elements and whose linear span is again W. So instead of W we have V here, and instead of V1, V2 up to Vn we have this set Wm minus 1, Wm Vi1 up to Vik. They are spanning capital V. So by corollary 1 you can find out its proper subset which again spans capital V and which contains in it linearly independent. So proper subset of this Wm minus 1 up to Vik contains in it linearly independent elements and it spans capital V, that means it forms basis there. So we are now trying to write new basis by removing at least one Vi, at least one V from this spanning set. Okay, so I am continuing here. Now by corollary 1 of above theorem, we can find a proper subset of which spanning set I am writing at this second step, Wm minus 1, Wm Vi1 up to Vik. We can find a proper subset of this spanning set of V by removing. Now while writing its proper subset we have to remove at least one V by removing at least one V. Okay, and thus I am now directly writing that proper subset. Thus a subset in which we are not disturbing W's. So I am writing Wm minus 1 as well as Wm. While writing proper subset we have to not remove Wm minus 1. If you remove Wm minus 1 then you are getting again above set. So keep these W's as it is and try to remove at least one V. So thus a subset. Okay, now I am changing here suffixes of V suffix J1. I am renumbering these Vi's by removing at least one V. So I am giving these suffixes Vj1 up to Vj suffix some s, small s, where now condition on s is nothing but the n minus 2, because already in above set k are nothing but the at most n minus 1, and now I am while writing this proper subset I am removing some V. That means from n minus 1 V's, at most n minus 1 V's we are removing at least one we are removing. That means now again in new set how many V's are there? At most they are n minus 2. So while suffixing in this way 1 to s, yes you can take at most n minus 2. There may be n minus 3, there may be n minus 4 in this way. So where s is less equal n minus 2, thus a subset in this way forms a basis. Forms a basis of capital V. Okay. So two steps we have completed here, and in these two steps, in the first step we have added one W and we have removed at least one V, and then we got their new basis in the first step. Again using the same concept and corollary 1 of theorem, whatever basis we got in the last step, in the first step by adding Wm in it and removing at least one V, we have started with that basis, and we got now at the end of the second step new basis in which we have added one more W, that is W suffix m minus 1, and again we have removed at least one V to form this basis. So we have basis of this form Wm minus 1, comma wm comma vj1 comma up to vj and what is condition on yes? It is less equal n minus 2. So at most if you take yes as n minus 2, then v's are n minus 2 in numbers, that n minus 2 v's and 2 more w's. Total number of elements are nothing but the n, which is nothing but the given as a basis. N number of elements are given in our original basis, there. Okay. If you take s as n minus 3, then that n minus 3 v's and 2 more w's, total number are nothing but the n minus 1. So at most this new basis contains in it n elements. Okay. So this is the new basis at the end of second step. And now we have to continue this procedure to add more w's in this set and to remove more v's, and then at the last we have to compare numbers of w's and number of v's. That means we have to compare m with n. Okay. So just let me check you are getting it or not. Can you reply me quickly? I have to finish this lemma today. Huh? So let me know you are getting it or not. Please quickly reply me. Two steps I have completed here. While completing first step, we have added one W and removed at least one V. While completing second step, I have added one more W. So at the end of second step, to form new basis, everyone. So at the end of the second step, we have added two W's and we have removed at least two V's. At least I am saying at least two V's we have removed and we have added two W's, and then we got their new basis. So at the end of second step, we have added two W's and we have removed at least two V's to form a new basis. So we got new basis, and now I have to complete this procedure. I have to complete this procedure m minus 1 times. That means at the end of m minus 1th step, we have to add m minus 1 w's, and then if you add m minus 1 w's, then there may be at least one at least m minus 1 v's you have to remove there, and then you have to check what is the form of new basis, and then later on we have to discuss the relation between m and n. So let me continue. Okay. Let me write. Continuing in this way, at the m minus 1th step we get a basis. I am directly writing now, it is basis, a basis of capital V of the form one by one we are adding w's and we are removing at least one v for one w. When we add one w we remove at least one v. So for m minus 1 w's we have removed at least m minus 1 v's. Okay, so a basis of capital V of the form. So m w's are there, we have added m minus 1 w's in it. So what is that m minus 1th w? It is w2, then w3, then at the second step we have added wm minus 1, and at the first step we have added m. So we have added this m, you can check these are the w's m minus 1 in numbers. Okay, and I am writing v alpha v beta, okay, of the form w2 wm minus 1 wm v alpha v beta and so on. We don't know now how many v's are there, okay, that we have to check of the form. Okay, full stop. So at the first step, at the second step, we are at each and every step we are getting new bases and we are adding one w, we are removing at least one v's for one w. So we have completed by continuing the same way and using the same concepts. At the end of m minus 1 step or at the m minus 1 step we are getting basis by adding m minus 1. See, at the first step we have added 1 w, at the second step we have added 2 w's, at the m minus 1 step we are adding m minus 1 w's, but for each w we are removing at least one v from the set of v's. Now we are showing here m minus 1 w's and some v's. Suppose that v's are nothing but the v alpha v beta. Now we have to decide here in this new basis some v is there or not, or all the v's are removed or not. So that we have to discuss, and that we can discuss with the help of this. Okay, now we are saying this is basis of capital V, this is basis of capital V. That means each element of capital V can be written as linear combination of all these. So let me write here, since okay w1 we have not added here and w1 is element of capital V, but w1 is nothing but the element of linearly independent elements. w1 w2 up to wm, they are linearly independent elements, so none of them can be written as a linear combination of others. So using that concept I am writing here, since w1 is not a linear combination, w1 is not a linear combination of w2 w3 up to wm minus 1 comma wm. Okay, in this basis suppose there are only w's w2 wm minus 1 up to wm and there is no some v, and since w1 is element of capital V, it can be written as a linear combination of basis elements. And suppose in basis only these elements are there, w2 w3 up to wm minus m minus 1 and wm, but set w1 w2 up to wm is a set of linearly independent elements. That means w1 cannot be written as a linear combination of these elements in terms of w only. So in this basis there must be at least one v to write w1 as a linear combination of basis elements, because w1 is an element of capital V, and if you want to call this as a basis, then you must have in this new basis at least one V, because W1 is not linear combination of W's only, so there must be at least one V. Huh? So I am saying here W1 is not a linear combination of W2, W3, Wn minus 1 up to Wm, comma, we must have some V, we must have some V in the basis, W2, Wm minus 1, Wm, V alpha, V beta, and the dash dash dash, because we don't know how many V's are there, but we want at least one V there, so I am writing V alpha, V beta in this. Okay. Okay. So by doing this procedure, addition of W's and procedure of removing V's, we are getting this basis, and in this basis these are the elements in which W2, Wm minus 1, Wm, these are the m minus 1 W's in numbers, but W1 is not linear combination, so at least one V is there. So at this m minus 1 step, how many W's we have added here? We have added m minus 1 W's, and when we add one W, we are removing at least one V. That means we are adding m minus 1 W's at the m minus 1 step. That means already we have removed there at least m minus 1 V's, and yet there are some V's remaining in this set. So which elements are more in numbers? Obviously V's, because Wm minus 1 W's we have added m minus 1 in numbers, and for this m minus 1 W's we have removed at least m minus 1 V's, and there is 8 another V in this new set. That means obviously number of V's is more than number of W's. So there are at most as many V's as W's, and some more V's are remaining in this. That means the number m minus 1 is obviously less than n minus 1 there. So this is the relation between m and n. So let me finish now this proof by writing this. Okay. For the basis W2, for the basis W2, Wm minus 1, Wm, V alpha, V beta, and some more elements, we have added m minus 1 W's, and we have removed at least m minus 1 V's. Thus, now I am comparing the W's and number of W's and number of V's. Okay, wait for a second. Okay. Thus, there are. Okay. Let me again write here one more thing. We have removed at least m minus 1 V's, and 8 there are some v's in it. For the basis I am saying, so added m minus 1 w's and removed at least m minus 1 v's, and 8 there are some v's in it. In this basis some more v's are there. So using this thing I am comparing now. Thus there are at most as many v's as w's. Thus there are at most as many v's as w's, and therefore so what is comparison? M minus 1 number is n minus 1. We have removed m minus 1 w's, sorry, added m minus 1 w's and removed at least m minus 1. At least I am saying, that means obviously this n minus 1 is greater than or equals to m minus 1, or m minus 1 is less equal n minus 1. And okay, and then finally, hence from this m minus 1 less equal n minus 1, you can write m is less equal, and this is the proof. This is the proof of this lemma. Okay, so we have completed the proof. So we stop. Wait for a minute.